Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Today is the first Wednesday of the month, which means it's time for Kathy Hester's Vegan Kitchen. And she is part of the bundle, coincidentally, and she
Yes.
has amazing products in the bundle that she's going to tell you about. But today she's going to be making, it's gluten-free, it's oil-free, it's vegan, of course, black bean oat sausages. Please welcome Kathy, Hester, and Cheryl.
Woo!
Yay.
Cheryl's here today. Yeah. So one of the things we have in the bundle is our ebook, Thriving on Starch, which is something you guys have been asking for. So we were really fortunate. Heather McDougall did a forward and Stacy did a little intro for us. Stacy Cross, who's our health specialist in the 12-day program. So we talk a little bit about just McDougalling, how to clean out your pantry, some simple things to eat, and we link a lot to Dr. McDougall's website so you can get a little more information too. And then I give you 29 easy compliant recipes in here. So this is the one that Cheryl and I did together.
I'm very excited. It's my first time in the bundle.
And it's your first time in a book.
It is my first time in a book, other than just like thank you somewhere in the
Thank you, I'm buying you a bike for helping me. That's what she gets in the books. And I wanted to kind of show you, we will get started on the sausage. Will you hand me those 3 containers?
Sure.
So everything in here isn't all mixes, but you guys know I've done mixes before. So this is the dry bouillon. There's also a wet bouillon recipe. Oat Parmesan is in there. And you guys, Cheryl says it looks just like the greens in the craft in the green box.
It does.
And all of these, the beauty is that if you're SOS, you can make these salt-free. And here's a cheese sauce mix. And then my golden gravy mix, which is our favorite McDougall meal, is mashed potatoes, frozen veggies on top, and some of this golden gravy. You just toast a little bit of it. You can put water or non-dairy milk in there, and it's like 5 minutes. And it's cheap. It's made with oats and nutritional yeast and spices.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, I thought, hey.
Kathy, I just want to make sure that your bundle link is correct before I post it, because when I click it, it says 503 service temporarily unavailable. So I'm having
No.
yeah, because I don't want to post it until I'm sure it's 100% accurate. So I don't mean to alarm you, but
Okay.
it's bit.ly Kathy Vegan Health Bundle 2024, right?
Yeah. So I wonder if bit.ly is down. But I can go give you the regular link. Just give me 1 second. And
yeah, I did, because this is too important, because you're going to be giving a great presentation and I want people to buy it from you. So I don't want to make, I want to make it's working.
Cheryl has been doing some of the cooking lately. So we're gonna see about Cheryl's just like, what? Look at her face. She's like, don't leave me alone.
On the spot.
So it's not so bad. So
just point to me what you want me to do, and then you can go do your thing.
Okay. So let me give a little explanation, and then I'll go and run around. So
looks like it's working. Looks like it's working now. Yeah.
It is working now. Okay. I think it was a bit.ly thing, maybe. Okay. Good.
Crisis averted.
So this is we're going to make the gluten-free sausages. And then I'll talk a little more about some of the other bundle too while it's in there cooking. So the most important thing, you saw me make these other mixes. You've seen me make spice blends. This is our sausage blend. And it smells
like sausage.
Smells like breakfast sausage.
It does.
And I have we did andouille sausage not that long ago on my show on Chef AJ. So having these spice blends means you can turn cauliflower into andouille sausage or this stuff into breakfast sausage. So we're going to make the blend. And what I want you to do, if you're a little nervous about being cooking, which would be Cheryl.
A little bit.
Because it seems like a lot of ingredients.
It does. It looks like a lot of ingredients.
It looks like a lot of ingredients. And then when you see
like
here, you're like, whoa, that's very complicated. But we are just measuring things. And this is my little ninja spice grinder. If you have a Beast, NutriBullet, a small blender, you can also blend it together. It just helps incorporate it more, break it down to smaller pieces. And since we're going to be using date sugar today, it's going to make that a little finer. And so Cheryl is going to measure these things out. Got the measuring spoons for you, and then we'll make this first. So we're going to put, and in here you can use salt or not. So typically when I make a big thing of spice blend, I prefer to have it not spiced. If I was,
You mean not salted?
yes, not salted. Deep Zen breath, right? So we're not going to use the salt. So we're going to, it says a tablespoon of brown sugar, or use date or coconut sugar. And this is Date Lady's brown coconut, date sugar. I can't say anything now. See, it's Date Lady, so one would assume it is date syrup.
So that's a tablespoon.
Yeah.
Do you level it off? We talked about this the other
Yeah,
night.
we're not going to level it off, and mine's kind of old, so it's got some clumps in there.
Chunky.
Since I'm going to blend it in here, I don't care. Oh,
So you're using twice the amount?
oh. Let's try again.
I think that's a tablespoon,
It
right?
is. It's because
What happened?
I'm off my game, because first we're not having our multi-camera set
Yes,
up,
and it's
and then the link, and then my brain exploded. So I
Yeah.
apologize.
so what happened was like
listen, I've been communicating with Lissa and she was getting that error too, but it's fixed now.
okay, cool.
Well, I believe you. It's just like, so seriously, before we even came on here, something was going wrong. So we're going to do 4 teaspoons of rubbed sage.
Okay, teaspoon.
So
And I guess it's just I always
you don't,
blows my mind that you like just don't level things off and you just dump it.
yeah. If I'm doing somebody else's recipe, I might be a little more careful, but done is always better than perfect.
Mm-hmm. That's my motto. Done is more profitable than perfect.
Right? And with herbs, especially, if I ended up with a little extra, I can always correct that later on. So when you're making this recipe, you're going to look at mine. You might be like, well, this tastes too much like rosemary. This tastes too much like this. You can adjust it at the end. And that's one of the beautiful things. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of onion powder and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder.
Okay. 1, 2.
And you can keep going. And marjoram is 2 as well. Put these over here. So I'm putting them upside down so I can remember, since this is a banner day for me, that way I'll know what we've used.
Okay.
That's a nice middle-aged lady trick. I don't know if Chef AJ, do you ever forget what you put in?
Oh
Or
yeah.
anything?
Or the
This
worst is
is
when you forget
Watching.
I've done when you forget to put something in, like for example, making black bean brownies, and then I forget the oats, and then I bake them, and then the oats are on the counter, and then oh boy.
Oh yes, we've all done that. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of thyme. And I say 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, but I usually use ground rosemary anyhow. So we're just going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of that. And some people wonder why. Why does that matter to me? And this is so tiny and probably neurodivergent of me, but I don't like the way the rosemary leaves poke me in the mouth.
I know, that's
Right.
funny.
So that is,
I don't either. Right. I always say there's a stick in here.
she does. What were you going to ask, Chef AJ?
No, I agree. They're sharp. Rosemary can make it like a little, like it's like having a sliver.
Right. We're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. We're going to do some pepper. So go ahead and grab that. We're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon ground black pepper. I'll let you do these. And then we're going to do about 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Now, I know you can't see this very well and my multi-camera setup isn't working, but we're just going to do 1/2 of a 1/4 teaspoon. So what I want you guys to do when you see a pinch, 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1/16 of a teaspoon, don't freak out. It's okay. You can always just put a little pinch in there
You
too.
need the 1/4 teaspoon.
Okay, excellent. And so that gives us our sausage blend. Now, we could go ahead and make a whole big jar of it. If you know you're going to use it all the time, you could make it twice a year and make a big jar and not do this every time that you're going to do it. but I just want you to see just how easy it is. And again, this is a special spice grinder that goes on the Ninja, and I do like it. I will say the Beast actually grinds things even better. That white blender I use sometimes, Cheryl's going to show it. And I'm just going to blend this up real quick.
It goes on there like that.
And it is nice if you can put like a desiccant pack from a vitamin, or maybe if you take some sort of medicine. I wouldn't get the ones out of your tennis shoes. Somebody asked me about that because I don't know where those have been. I wouldn't put those in there. And it smells so good when it's freshly ground. Doesn't that smell better than the other one?
Oh yeah, totally. It's like,
It's because this one's like a year old.
let me smell that one again. Oh yeah, like
And there's nothing wrong with this. When this heats up, it's going to reactivate some of those beautiful flavors and smells. This, as it gets ground, it gets a little bit warm, and that's also what makes it bloom like that.
that's nice.
Okay, so kind of that was the hard part, which wasn't very hard. Did we have any questions at all
Oh.
about any of that
Sorry,
yet?
a comment from Pat, loves the live cooking demos. Thank you, ladies.
Okay.
Happy to see you, says Lori.
Aw.
So says Jill as well.
You guys are awesome. So when we're making patties, burgers, my hot dog. So I have a veggie dog that's made with real veggies on plant-based-instant-pot.com. So the drier these ingredients are, the better. So the recipe is going to be for in between. So these potatoes are pretty dry. So it's got some potato in there. We've got some cooked quinoa, and you can kind of see, like, look at that quinoa. It's pretty dry. And why does that matter? I put them in the fridge and let them kind of starch up a little bit. It will make it easier for me to patty this. Okay. And the same thing, we've drained these black beans. You guys have seen my little can drainer before. And because everything's so dry this time, we might need to add liquid. So it'll be really interesting. Okay. So it says 1.5 cups of black beans. That's about 1 can. And so Cheryl, I'm going to have you mash all this up with the potato masher.
Just like I would potatoes.
Yes. And can you use a food processor? You can.
See why you're having me do it.
Yeah. And you want to mash the beans most of all. And it'll take a little while. And then we're just going to be adding some oat flour, some ground flaxseed, and some of our sausage blend. So this is great. If you don't have quinoa, but you have leftover brown rice, that will work. If you don't have black beans, you could use kidney beans. The only thing that's hard, I guess if you had mashed cauliflower, that would probably work. You want me to get in there for a minute?
Yeah, I wonder
Okay.
if I should have a bigger bowl.
So I think, so she's trying to mix things up and I'm trying to smash the beans. So I'm going a little more straight down
Yeah.
because I'm not trying to mix everything together yet.
Oh, I see.
I'm trying to smash the beans. As I smash the beans, that's going to warm everything else up and make it easier to mix in, right? Can you guys kind of see that? And I know there's another potato masher that has a spring. So it has like the tines like this on the bottom or like in between. So it has 2 mashers. And if you have wrist problems, that's a good thing to get. And as dry as this is, this would have worked in the food processor. But the thing is if you get it too gummy, then it can be hard. You want to try and finish that.
Smashing down.
Yeah. Does that make more sense?
Mhm.
Okay. Cheryl's helping me be a better teacher. because Cheryl doesn't really cook. We cooked Chef Julia's yakisoba and tofu from the bundle last night on a live. You guys have to watch it. We ate it
I
all.
would love to know not just what you cooked from the bundle, but what you like about the bundle.
What do I like so many things about it. Now that's shocking. So one of the things I like about the bundle is bundle week. I call it bundle week. When we all go live and you get to meet so many new people in the whole food plant-based community. What I like about the bundle itself is there's just so many different things, no matter where you are. So Cheryl's going to use some stuff out of the bundle that's more like she wants to do some of the kids cooking stuff, right?
I think it would be easy for me.
So, and then I always love Chef Julia's food. And you guys don't have to do it quite as hard as this, but that's pretty good.
You sure? There's some that are still not smashed.
You don't have to smash every single bean, but what's crazy to me is like, so if you're like, I eat simply, I don't really want a bunch of recipes, that's okay, because there's lots of courses. There's stuff from doctors. I'm really interested in Drina's fascia class. And there's like yoga in there. I have a balsamic vinegar class where we make, they have this thing that was viral on TikTok a couple of years ago called a healthy Coke. And I tried it and it didn't taste like a Coke. So it was like lime seltzer and balsamic vinegar. But I put some non-alcoholic holiday pie bitters in there. I put some different spices and it does taste like a Coca-Cola.
It does.
And it's crazy. Trying to think, there's so many things in the bundle. And it makes...
Well, we've got books that we've spiral bound from there.
That's a good idea.
Just
And-
ones that we right away picked out as ones that we knew we would use over and over again, like the Spring Inspiration Cookbook. That's only available in the bundle. And it's contributors that are in the bundle, submitted recipes, spring recipes, and then Chef AJ put this cookbook together, and it is only available in the bundle.
Chef AJ and Alyssa.
And Alyssa, sorry.
Let's
and
not
there's
leave her out. She does so much stuff. And you guys, this is what the base mixture looks like. Now I'm going to put in some oat flour. Your mixture could look less like Play-Doh than this one. So you might need more oat flour. So that's okay too. And I do usually encourage people not to actually buy oat flour, but to just take rolled oats and put it in your blender because it's a lot cheaper. And then that way you have it fresh. And you can put 2 to 3. Oh, that's flaxseed. We'll put some flaxseed in there. And then we're going to put some of the sausage spice we just did. And that's what's going to make this really special. Okay. And you can do 2 to 3. I'm going to do like 2.5. And you can put some salt in there if you want to or not. And then I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I may have to use my hands.
That's what I was going to say. It looks like that would be better with your hands.
And I'm going to just put just a little bit of oat flour because everything is so dry. And at this point, you might be like, well, that doesn't seem like a good thing. However, when it's wet, it won't patty up. And see, you're kind of always, it's pretty wet. Once you're touching it, I'm going to definitely be able to use.
Yeah, it kind of looks like if you were baking, like dough that you would bake with a little bit.
Kind of, I like to think of it as Play-Doh just because it's a good consistency for burgers. Chef AJ, you have a burger, don't you? And there's a whole burger book in the bundle.
Yeah, Vicky was on yesterday. I just usually make my smoky sweet potato burger because it's easy and I always have the ingredients, but I always have burgers in my freezer, always.
And there is a McDougall compliant, what is it? Actual
veggies.
But they've gotten pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, a can of beans and some potatoes, and you're good to go. And honestly, you could even use this base with different spices. So you could do Polish sausage You could do the kind of sausage that you grew up with. Okay, so we've got that about there. Definitely going to have to wash off my hand. And do you want to grab the things with the parchment paper on it?
Yeah.
From behind you too. And we can do 2 sizes. You can make little sausage patties that would fit in your Ezekiel English muffins for like weekend treats. So you could even use, I think Chef Julia in her Japanese book talks about basically making like just egg substitute. So you can make your own like breakfast English muffins.
Ooh.
Okay. So what we're going to do, I always use scoops because it's just easier. This is going to make a bigger one. This is going to make little patties. So I'll show you how to do it. You're just going to grab some and then we'll mash it down in a minute.
Okay. Boy, those look huge. I guess though, if you
Those are the sandwich ones.
sandwich ones, okay.
Yeah. You can go from one side and I can go from the other. But I think one of the things that's really good is no matter if you're an experienced vegan, plant-based cook, or if you're brand new, there's just a lot of really great information in there. And Dr. McDougall has a gut health mini class. Actually, we had Stacy Cross on earlier on Monday, and she was talking a little bit about that. And she said too, the people who get the class through the bundle will be able to get the bigger full class for 50% off. So that's another awesome thing.
I did not know that. That is amazing.
Right?
Yep. You know, I don't know about you guys, but like, I obviously not everybody's going to use everything, but I just find the things I like. And I don't like to cook from, you know, a phone because that gets dirty. So like, I don't know if you saw Broccoli Mums, that book sold for $40. It's over 200 pages. And
Let's
I just
get one more big.
print out what I'm going to make. And it works for me.
That's a great idea too. Actually, we're getting ready to spiral bound hers. And one of the things I like to tell people, because some people, I think printing out just what you want is good too. But like also, you're going to want different things now than you do later on in the year. And so you might, I know for me, I always think, oh, I don't really eat raw. But then it comes around to summer and I'm kind of like, well, maybe I do eat raw, right? Because I'm get too lazy to cook. So we're going to pat these down a little bit. I'm going to wet my hands. And if you wet your hands, it shouldn't stick. And so these are like burger patty size.
For like putting on English muffins.
Putting on English muffins. And you can make these any size. So obviously the cooking time is going to be much longer for these. But we've got some small ones that you'll be able to see. If you want to go ahead and put that on, yeah, 375 is great.
15 minutes.
Yeah, and take out the tray that's in there right now. I think I have enough. Oh, I'm going to put a little more water. So it starts to stick. Then if you just have a little water, you can put it in a bowl. But I think, I haven't done this with these, but I think these would make like good holiday sausage balls too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think we could do that.
I always forget about sausage balls and stuff. I used to really like those.
But did you guys kind of see the hardest part was mashing stuff up? But honestly, nothing's taking that long. And what I would do again, there's a couple things I would do. Quadruple this recipe, make them in the oven. You don't have to, I'm just making them in the air fryer because that's right by here. And we don't have to wait for it to get all the way up to temperature to let it start baking.
Put these on the bottom?
Yeah.
On the very bottom.
Yeah. So when I was making the quinoa and the potatoes for this morning, and this is a really good just meal prep. Look, now I have quinoa for salads.
Yum.
or something else. So I went ahead, instead of just making exactly the amount I needed, I cooked 2 cups of it instead of like half a cup. Same thing. I had a bunch of potatoes that were telling me it was spring. I don't know how it's going with you guys in your potato drawers, but even some new potatoes are telling me it's spring. So I went ahead and cut off the eyes. If they're firm and not green, you can peel down through them and use them. Just make sure you cannot eat any of those eyes. Okay, so go and get them out. Another tip is either have something like this on your peeler, that's to dig in and get an eye, or it's a little something there. So you have that on your potato peeler. But so this way we have a couple of dinners and lunches just kind of ready to go. And whenever I make something, usually like a sauce blend, I make the cheese powder, stuff like that. I try to make enough for at least 3 to 6 months and just have it there. And so that way it's just good to go. And that's some of the stuff we do talk about in the starch solution, is just getting things together and having things around that's easy to eat.
Yeah. And getting in a routine too has always been really helpful for us. Like I try to make sure that I make us oatmeal before I go to bed in the slow cooker, so that when we get up in the morning, we just have oatmeal ready to go. And then I also, because I'm the one that likes to eat the rice so much, I like to make sure that we always have, you know, a Tupperware container full of brown rice
Like
in
a
our
big
fridge.
Tupperware container. We're not talking about a cup.
Yeah, I'm
There's
talking about like the 3-cup maybe,
it's bigger than that.
or actually it's Rubbermaid, I
Usually
guess.
we have this much, 7 cups.
Yeah.
So we have, and that's after we usually pull it out. So I think one of the tricks, and as you're looking through everything in the bundle too, so let's say you like Broccoli Mom's, one of the recipes that's curry, that you put together that spice blend. Go ahead and 10 times that spice blend, put it in a jar, and then it's ready to go. If that's something that you've decided, well, I love this dal, I'm going to have it every week, you don't have to reinvent the wheel or go through those steps over and over again.
We talked about last night because we absolutely loved the soba dish that we made.
The yakisoba
from Julia.
Chef Julia.
And we talked about her actually prepping some of the sauce and keeping it in the refrigerator, so that one night during the week, that's something that I can just make now because I understand how to make it, because we usually always have the other things that it requires in the house.
Yeah, and don't also, when, especially if you're transitioning and you're like, this is a lot of work. If you have some extra money, the Breville peel and dice or a good food processor in general is great. The dice is nice for us, but even if you don't do anything but use your shredding blade in your food processor, because then you can make cruciferous crunch, you know, which costs like what, $3 or $4 for a little bag at Trader Joe's. But you can just do cabbage, broccoli stems, Brussels sprouts, carrots, and you can have that on hand all time. But the bundle is just really amazing. I can't believe it's over $8,000.
I don't think there's ever been a bundle that big before, honestly. And I do 4 a year with 3 with other people other than Lissa. And they're usually around 2,000 or 3,000 for basically the same price. You know, it's funny, you did that video about the Breville peel and dice. And because of it, Vicky, who was on the show last night, who does that fabulous dessert class and the burger class in the bundle, she bought the Breville because of it. It's too bad Breville doesn't do any affiliate. You know, people think that people think because if we mention a product, they give us all kinds of money. And that's not true. Like Breville's never given me a dime, you know?
No.
Breville's stingy.
We had to really like it was really hard for her to decide. Like, first of all, to even get the first Breville sous chef that she had, like she had to like lurk on Amazon warehouse for weeks on end till she found one in a price point that she was willing to pay. And then when the dicing, when she decided that maybe she wanted the dicing thing, she was like, oh, and it's like, oh, but it's all this, it's the same amount of money that I paid for this on top of this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, then just buy the whole thing all
Well-
over again and sell the other one. And she was like,
But it's crazy, Chef AJ, you were listening to the same thing too, though. So like if you get the one without the dicing kit, you think, oh, I can just buy the dicing kit. But no, you have to buy a $200 adapter and the dicing kit. And then it's like,
This
you
is-
might as well buy the whole thing.
right. So she was him-hawing, and she was talking about it on one of her videos, and everybody was like,
my people talked me into getting it.
they were like, just get it. It was like Good Friday, or not Good Friday. I always
Black
call
Friday.
Black Friday Good Friday. It was Black Friday.
Naughty Friday.
It's Naughty Friday.
Because you spend too much.
But it was Black Friday. We were doing a show, and we were actually doing a show about how you don't really need to buy a bunch of stuff on Black Friday.
And then they made me buy something.
And everybody was like, do it, do it, do it. It's awesome, awesome sale. Do it, do it,
Yeah.
do it.
I gotta say that, I mean, I don't know if you know who you've been to my house. You haven't been to my house. You were
No, we almost went to your
Yeah.
house.
So I'm obsessed with this artist, Leonid Afremov, and if it wasn't for Black Friday, I couldn't have afforded the art that I have on my walls from him. So I'm a fan of Black Friday personally. I don't use it to buy stuff I don't want. I use it to buy stuff that I do want, and I just wait for Black Friday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, there's lots of business stuff I buy during Black Friday
Yeah.
too.
She always gets a little stressed out and overwhelmed as Black Friday's approaching, because she's like, I've got to sort through all these tools, and I got to decide what I want to keep and what I'm not going to keep and what I want to re-up because I want to get the deals.
And so if you look at Black Friday and Bundle Week is much better because you just get it and then you have a whole long time to go and decide what you want. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing, if I have a brain, we'll do it today. If not, we'll do it tomorrow. So we're going to talk about how to get the bundle and put it on Google Drive so you can access it from all your devices.
We found a thumb drive this morning,
So we're
we'll
going to
test
show
it on
how to
that.
put it on there too. So you guys will have that. But one thing I always like to say, Chef AJ, about the bundle is don't be intimidated by the amount of stuff there is. Instead, look for the 3 things that really just are drawing you in right now. If you're like all about, I want to teach my kids how to cook, then look at that material. If you're wondering, you know, what can I make in the summer? I have a whole like mini bundle of classes. So I have 5 classes and my classes are 3 to 4 hours long.
If you're interested in trying to do more raw stuff, there is a ton of raw stuff in there this year.
Lisa has some great, like Melissa's wraps and things like that. But you don't think that you're going to do all of it right now. So just get this pinpoint, get what you need. And the only thing you have to do within the year is download the ebooks. And then notice that some of the PDFs, like for my summer courses or my balsamic course, or I think Chef James as well, you have to click a button, then you have to go somewhere and register for that class. That's all that's time sensitive. So you have to do that before the year is up.
Right.
So then you, with your mindset here in March, maybe at one thing, and then it might be July and it's really hot and you're like, I need some raw food. So now you can go and download some of the raw food stuff, or maybe not download it, but go to it and download it to whatever device you're using right now and focus in on that. And the beauty is even next March, you have access to all this material. So as you grow and want to learn, it's an incredible amount of information, recipes, great people. So I'm always excited because every bundle time I meet some new people that become fast friends that I really respect and love working with. And I know that you guys will love working with them as well.
Last year, Kathy met Lisa Rice doing one of these kind of just bundle week videos, and they became fast friends. And you will see Lisa on Kathy's show quite a bit. She'll come on and they'll chit chat about stuff, or she'll cook something. And who else? Gosh, somebody else. There's been a bunch of people.
A little bit more.
Bunch of people that we've kind of met through bundle week.
Staff, and just so many
Rachel
people.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Like tons of people and Vicky.
Yeah, I knew Vicky before, but Vicky's awesome. I mean, I could not find another thing that I would tell you guys, go ahead and spend your $49 because there's no way that you're not going to get that much value and more. It's just, I have over $200 worth of stuff in the bundle alone. So I have a total of 6 classes and an ebook.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a no-brainer. And I think even if you used 2 books or 1 course, you've already probably made your money back.
Absolutely.
And I can't imagine you'll stop there.
Right.
Yeah, because once you download it, you have it for life. You know, Kathy, back to the Breville. When I bought it, I did buy the peel and dice, but it took me 2 years to even attempt to use it until you showed me how to use it. And then I used it once, and now I already forgot how to use it again.
Well, you've got my phone number.
I just need you to come over. I'm like more, I need to like, I need you to like just stand. But it was amazing how fast it cut tomatoes and onions. For people that like salsa, that is a cool tool, you know?
Well, I love it for onions because I hate chopping onions and she likes it really small. So I got the extra small dice kit. And so what I can do now is go to Costco, get a bag of onions, and I'm just cutting off the ends, getting the skin off. If they're real big, I cut them in half. And that's all the prep I do. And just go plump, 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 plump. And like less than 5 minutes later.
And the cleanup is relatively easy on that too. Like she's done this quite a few times and has yet to come in there and say, you need to go clean that. Because usually if it's something that has to be cleaned, like if it's something that's hard to clean or hard to do, like the old food processor we had, she never touched that.
I lose my patience.
She would come wherever I was in the
rubber
house.
Stuff up in the top, and it had 4 tools just for cleaning the lid.
And she would say, I diced those onions for you. You need to get in there and clean that.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And the thing is, as well, is I love ideas and experimenting and doing things, but I am not always detail oriented with things like that. So Cheryl is
I am extremely
super
detail oriented.
So if I'm like, I check everything that I've washed a second time before I put it away, especially if I washed it at night when I'm tired. But Cheryl, pretty much, if Cheryl's washed them, you can just put them away. You don't have to double check that.
That's true. I'm one of those people that basically washes everything before I put it in the dishwasher.
I agree. That's how my mommy taught me. Yep.
And I just can't get down with that. Then I'm like, why do we put it in the dishwasher after that?
But then she'll say, why does this cup have gunk in it? and I'll be, because you put it in there with a bunch of oat milk slathered around the end of it that just washed all around on everything.
That would be true. So less than one thinks I'm just trying to, not live up to my responsibilities. And I'm going to show you these.
We have fun though.
We do. That's what marriage is about, isn't it, Chef AJ? A little bit about getting used to these things that we all do. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to flip them over.
Wow, they smell great. I wish you guys could smell these.
Okay.
They really. And
God,
sorry about the.
You can make like a vegan what do they call that breakfast?
Oh,
McMuffin.
You totally can, because we have some Ezekiel muffins. Maybe what we'll do too, maybe before the weekend or on the weekend, we'll make Chef Julia's egg, and we can use the big patties and make breakfast sandwiches. That was Cheryl's downfall before she became vegan.
Yeah, breakfast through the drive-through was always my big
about
thing.
10 minutes. They're a little soft, so I'm going to put them in a little more. We don't want them crispy like cookies. And if you're going to freeze them and not eat them right now, it's okay if they're a little soft in the middle. You want to let them go ahead and like cool down all the way. And then you can stack them up and put them in a silicone bag in the freezer. If you find that they stick together, you could put some little parchment in between as well, just like you see that.
Oh, that's a really great idea. Because then when you go to just pull a couple out,
you can just grab a couple.
You don't have to bring the whole thing up and go.
And that's exactly.
I hate that. I hate when I go to the freezer and she tells me to bring something up. And she'll bring up 2 of something. And I'll go down to the freezer. Like,
big freezer.
Okay, so like we have some Ezekiel buns down there, right? That we have been hoarding
So we're probably gonna have to chisel those out when
And-
burger time comes.
And it was like, just get 2. And I'll pull the package out and be like, oh, there's no way I'll be down there just like trying. Oh, and they just aren't budging. So then we end up having to bring the whole thing up. And I'm like chiseling.
And see, I just smack things on the counter. Smack. And it works out well. So I tell you guys how to do things like cut your onions. You can freeze them on a cookie sheet and then put them in something, but I just throw them in something and they'll freeze into a block and you just smack it against the counter.
I'm surprised that, these must be some really good counters, the way you smack stuff on them all the time.
Sometimes you need a way to get your frustration out. I think smacking containers of onions against the counter
That's true.
It's good all the way around.
It's good for me because then you're not yelling at me for it.
I don't yell a lot.
She doesn't really
I
yell.
clean up really well all the time, but I don't yell a lot.
She doesn't yell a lot. When I say yell, it's like
Well, if I
her
say,
stern teacher voice comes out.
if I just say don't do that anymore, you're like, mm.
And I get pouty like a 5-year-old. So
It's true. And I have very few rules, but the kitchen counter, Chef AJ, I don't know if you have any rules. Like the kitchen counter is always cleaned and nothing from the outside world that isn't supposed to be here should be here because then I have to sanitize it, right?
And I am forever putting something on that counter.
When you first moved in with me, she put the leash and the harness for the dog on the stove. On the stove. And I'm like, will you lick this? And she's like, no. And I'm like, then don't put it where we eat.
So now every time I come into the kitchen and I have something and I'm going to put it down, and I look around where I'm going to put something on and I go, would I lick this? Yeah, I would lick that.
She'll lick some nasty stuff.
And I will. Mail. I'll lick the mail.
She'll put me. And I'm just like, no, we don't know where this was. So
my phone, that's the one she can't stand more than anything.
My
phone is always like on the counter somewhere.
We need to get our phone soap back out because they say your phone can be dirtier than the inside of your toilet.
That's
And you just have to hear that once. That's never going to go away. I'm sorry. I haven't put it out. I need some support in this. But it's like, so you've just taken something from the inside of the toilet and put it where I'm going to make food. So that's where I lose my comprehension.
But you have to believe that for that theory to work. I don't know. I've never seen the actual science behind it.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Well, you remember what was the other guy? The guy from the Ladybug.
Oh, the Ladybug guy. What, Dwayne? Yeah.
Well, what did he say? He was saying your
countertop.
Was it the countertop that's dirtier than the toilet?
Yeah. Most people's countertops are dirtier than.
But
I think it was the countertop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the countertop.
I don't know. But anyhow, keep your countertops clean. And also, don't let anyone near your kitchen shears. So I'm going to take these out right now. And you guys might need to let them cool a little bit. I kind of have.
They look good.
Cooking fingers.
They actually look like cookies.
They do kind of, but they also have that sausagey color. Let's see.
And sorry, guys, about the camera situation. There was an
That's
update.
Too hot for me to hold like that.
Wow, if it's too hot for her to hold, it's like hot.
Can you put that up with your long arms towards the camera? And I'm going to see if I can come around here if that helps.
Put it on there.
Well, no.
I'm going to read a comment from sorry, Instagram. It's when I go over to your screen, I have to lose the screen I have, but I do want to acknowledge that you're there. Bonnie says, I downloaded the bundle, excited and overwhelmed. One of my new experiments that turned out amazing is air fried quinoa. Is the recipe you made in the bundle? Sorry if you already mentioned it. That sounds amazing. I wonder how you would do that. Have you done anything like that, Kathy?
I haven't, but now I want to. It would make sense because like you guys can't see up close too bad. But it's layered in here and the inside looks sausagey too.
Oh, wow. It really does.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm.
That's going to be way too hot for me to taste.
And it
so.
tastes sausagey.
Mm.
That's the most important thing. And if you're like, this is too much for you to do, you can make just the spice blend and put it in like some sauteed vegetables and put it with a tofu scramble.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
Or just dump it on some cauliflower and
Yeah, and air fry the
air
cauliflower.
fry the cauliflower and call it a day. Make a cauliflower sandwich.
I'm wondering if you do the quinoa, does that just make little crunchies, like little crunchy croutons? Because I've got quinoa here.
Well, you know, I bet it would. Oh,
I bet it would be really crunchy.
it's going to be like those things from Costco.
Oh, yeah, it could.
Those are quinoa.
Yeah. So we could try it for sure. That sounds delightful. And I made extra quinoa. So what is everybody else making in the bundle? Also, if you guys go to my free heartbeat group, I made a thread just for the bundle. And a lot of people are posting pictures of some of the recipes they're making.
Mhm.
You can go over there and you can find someone to partner with to go through a course with. They're just really nice, friendly, wonderful, supportive community wherever you are.
Yep. No one judges you for being new.
Mm-mm.
And if you have lots of questions, they will answer them. We will answer them. It's just a lovely community over there. And everybody is welcome.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think of what else. So in the summer class, I do have an air fryer, a summer air fryer class, though I don't do the quinoa in there. Have you, do you air fry your corn in?
Oh, air fried corn is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really amazing. One of the things we do is we'll take a lime wedge and go over it and then do it. And then it caramelizes and gets a little bit of that acid in there. It's
That's
just
so
really
good.
good.
So good.
But I definitely think you guys should get the bundle, especially before it's gone on Sunday.
It's incredible that even though, you know, people say, oh, you're so annoying, because the thing is people, not everybody opens their email, you know, I've learned. And so we could send an email out on day 1, March 1, and they open it March 9th. And then, you know, if we don't promote it, they won't know. It's amazing how many people contact us after midnight on the 10th, and we cannot do it. It's not fair.
And we've had people contacting us that bought the bundle last year that are trying to download the materials from last year.
Because you get a year or a whole year. So don't wait till the very last minute.
Mhm.
Because sometimes some of this stuff you won't be able to get at that point. So it's better to download everything you can and just put it aside, like in a Google Drive, somewhere where it's not going to take up room on your computer, or that if you change computers this year or next year, you still have it somewhere nice and safe.
Yep. And just go through it a little at a time. You don't have to be overwhelmed and staring at it going, oh my God, all this stuff. Just like take little pieces at a time and just kind of go through it and say, oh yeah, I really like that. Oh yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. And be patient with yourself. Don't overload yourself. Maybe you've watched 80,000 lives on Chef AJ's channel and my channel. And you're like, you're full of knowledge. Go ahead and download it and then decide what you're going to start with April 1st or mid-March. Give yourself a little time. You could even write out a little list about one new recipe you want to try a week. And just see how that works, especially if you have a family that's not all eating whole food plant-based. Like when Cheryl wasn't, it's really nice, especially things like this are really good for family members, because then they don't feel like you're making them do something. You're just making something healthier, which some people will have a little bit of an issue with, but if it tastes really good, it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, I remember before I transitioned over, I mean, most of the time I was like, she would make something and I would eat it because I'd be like, well, the texture's right, the taste is right. I'm there. I'm good.
You can eat this one now. It's cold. Cool.
Just so good.
And that
it tastes just like sausage.
And it's both good and weird. But like the quinoa with the potato and the beans, it kind of gives it a lot of different textures, as well as this layered flavor of the sausage, the breakfast sausage spice. And it's really easy. And like I said, you totally could use rice, but I like the way the quinoa kind of gives a little bit
I like
of
the
extra
quinoa.
texture.
Yeah.
My original, I have a sausage recipe in every single book I've ever made, and they're all different.
We kind of like sausage around
I
here.
love sausage. I don't like meaty sausage, but the sausage flavors and sausage spices were actually developed because the meats they were using didn't taste very good.
Mhm.
So imagine now we're using these really interesting sausage blends and blends of beautiful spices to put with things that do actually taste good.
Mhm.
So I think it's a win-win all the way around.
Absolutely.
I bet you could
Absolutely.
freeze those too, right?
Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah.
totally can freeze them. So you can, like, usually what I do is I'll make extra, like a double or a triple batch and just halfway cook them. Like this would probably be fine for freezing. You don't want them to get really browned around the edges because then you can warm them up again. And just some other stuff that's in here is like, we talked about the bouillons, there's homemade oat milk, a nut-free ranch dressing, onion sour cream. And that's the base of the dressing, Chef AJ, that I had in your book for the onion-based ranch dressing. There's like powders, the pizza fondue, queso. Trader Joe's stopped selling the no oil marinara sauce. So we've got a marinara sauce in here, oatmeals, red rice, forbidden rice. It's perfectly fine to eat white rice, brown rice, but sometimes you just want a little bit of a change. And I think people are reluctant to try new rices without just knowing a little bit about how to cook them. But there's quinoa with beans, tomato soup, one of my favorite creamy Indian lentil and kidney bean dish.
It's a good one.
Got black-eyed peas, red beans, refried beans, because refried beans, if you have that and you have those beautiful, thin, credible tortillas that you taught us about, Chef AJ.
Yeah.
I
Then-
love those because they make better chips.
Yep.
They do. And I just, even before I started eating whole food plant-based no oil, the chips we would buy were super, super, super thin. And this is just as good. It really is. And they're so much better for you. And I put in my green potato soup, even though it is a little bit of a Halloween recipe. I actually made it on your show for Halloween one year. But it's a great way to get kids to eat greens because it's potatoes. Everybody loves potato
Worked for
soup.
me, right?
Yeah, when she wasn't eating greens and you just puree some, and then you can call it Shrek soup if you want to. That's on you, right? But there's just lots of different things. So, you know, if you're looking to try out the starch solution and you're just feeling a little bit intimidated, hopefully this breaks it down for you and makes it a little bit easier. Because when we have Stacy on our live show, a lot of people will say things like, can I eat Japanese sweet potatoes or should I only eat white sweet potatoes? And it's like, it's the starch solution. You can eat any starches. You can eat any rices, any potatoes.
Yeah, we don't get into the minutia about like the nutritional profile of those starches.
Yeah.
The starch is a starch.
So hopefully this lets you kind of let that minutia go and get into this curious mindset. And that's how we approached it. We weren't like, well, we don't eat oatmeal in the morning, or I can't eat that much oatmeal. Well, let's find out. Let's make more oatmeal than we think we'll eat, and let's see how much oatmeal we eat when we do the starch solution.
I got a question from an Instagram viewer, Sweet Eat Zen Repeat, cute name. Are there some garlic-free recipes? I have garlic allergies and looking for seasonings and dressings without garlic that are SOS compliant.
One thing you can do, you can substitute in some things. I haven't done it in dressings. Hing or asafoetida, it's an Indian spice and it smells incredibly strong, but you use just a pinch, and with heat, it actually makes these beautiful layered spices. So I always forget the name of the religion, but there's a religion that doesn't do any.
I think it's Brahmakumari, is that it? Because I remember going to one of their events in LA, and hing, because even in Broccoli Mom's Indian book, you can use hing or asafoetida.
Yeah, and you can get one thing you need to be careful of.
You need to triple bag it.
Well, we'll talk about that. I'm trying to see. I think I thought I had some right here, but It's in a little bitty jar. You can order it on Amazon. So if you're not a place where you can go to the Indian market, also it often has some gluten element in it to keep it dry, but you can buy gluten-free hing. It's H-I-N-G. And you'll also, and I can't spell asafoetida. I can barely say it.
ASEFIT. I don't know how to spell it either. It's easier to say hing, you know?
Yeah, and it usually has both words on it. They're kind to us and do it that way. So that would be my first thing that I would say, because it gives some of that extra flavor without the things that you're allergic to. And I tell a lot of people that people who have stomach issues from it too, or maybe get some acid reflux from onions and garlic, can try it as well. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I know in Indian food, it's usually cooked. And so what Cheryl was saying about triple bagging it is that it is very pungent. And I want to tell all of you, it does not taste in a dish the way it smells.
Right.
I think it's kind of like the durian of spices, in that, you know, durian is supposed to have an unpleasant smell, but it tastes creamy and like ice cream. So definitely just put a pinch. What it will do if you store it with your other spices and it's not triple bagged, I often triple bag it and put it away from my regular spice drawer, because you don't want your other, like your basil, to start take on that smell.
But it's so worth it. Like the first time that I smelled it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're going to put that in something. But the flavor that it gives the dishes is just amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know of.
Well, they love you guys. They think you're hilarious together. I always said you guys should have like a talk show, you know, together. You guys are great. I love your recipes, Kathy. I only wish you would just make them for me. You know, Lissa's coming to visit me and she's going to stay with me in May, her and Nate. And she's going to, I can't say she's going to do all the cooking, but she's going to do all the uncooking.
Oh,
Nice.
Well, I'll come cook for you.
Yeah, I would. Gosh, wouldn't it be cool? Like if like I could just pay like 1 month, I could have you 1 month, Kathy Fisher, 1 month, Lissa, 1 month, Brock. Like if I would do that, because I should get chef off of my name. I'm no chef. I'm a throw it in the pot person. I rarely, except for like Charles's birthday and Thanksgiving, I don't do recipes. I don't even chop an onion with my Breville. I buy them already chopped. I think they're going to take my chef title away. But anyway, thank you so much. And thank you for the wonderful contributions in the bundle. And guys, get it from Kathy. Support her. The link is below. Her books are great. Her balsamic vinegar book, the Starch Solution book, endorsed by Heather McDougall. So come on, you know it's a great book. And Kathy is a regular on Chef AJ Live, so she'll be back in May. You will be back before Mother's Day. You'll be back before Memorial Day. So lots that you can do next month.
Lots more stuff. And if you buy from my bundle link, we've got a number, and Cheryl will get a special birthday present because her birthday was Monday. So you can help Cheryl get the birthday present of her dreams.
Yep. Yep. That would be awesome.
Nice. Well, thank you. I talked to you longer, but I do have another show doing 6 shows a day. So in 15 minutes, I'll be meeting a new bundle contributor for the first time. I haven't met her, even though we both lived in LA. Her name is Edie Desser from the Garden of Edie, and she's going to talk about how she reversed her super high blood pressure with garden food, and she's going to be making oil-free salad dressings. So thanks for all your work this week, guys. It's so funny. Every time I'm on, I'm like, Kathy Hester is live. Tammy Kramer is live. Lisa Maris is live. Like, it's
Bundle Palooza.
Yeah, somebody's saying all these lives are annoying, but here's the thing. We're not forcing you to watch. So, I mean, if it's annoying, then don't watch, but we don't mean to be annoying. We want to give you value, and we think we are. So, and the bundle is an amazing value. It's not a joke. $8,000, more than that, $49. Even one thing is more expensive in the bundle. If you just did Dr. McDougall's gut health course, you would be paid for by itself. All right, ladies, we'll see you next month, if not sooner. And we'll see the rest of you in 15 minutes if you want to come back. Thanks so much. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you.